All right, listen up. Because we got to have a real conversation about how America stay wilden with the foolishness. Here we are, sitting in a country where folks can't afford rent. Medical bills turn into lifetime debt, and the cost of living got people choosing between groceries and gas. Yet somehow, the thing folks got the most energy for is some damn culture war nonsense.
Is this too simplistic? I personally can't fathom supporting Trump if you're either, unless you're a bigot, stupid, or it's not, it's, to take a step back, the thing is you have to keep in mind, okay, that the average person, the super average person, is waking up, checking some social media, going to work, getting home, hanging out with friends, playing games, hanging out with their family, eating a little bit, maybe on some social media, and they go to sleep. This is the average person. The average person doesn't know anything about like Shokan and Burisma and like all these crazy things. So the average person is going to care about things that are either immediately noticeable in their life, so things like inflation for sure, and then whatever permeates into their social media bubbles, which unfortunately is going to be a whole bunch of social wars issues. So saying something along the lines of like, Donald Trump is trying to sue pollsters because he doesn't like the results that they were giving. Like you're already like halfway through. Donald Trump suing, I don't know, okay, what? Okay. Versus like women, high school students in sports games. It's like, oh, that's crazy. And I know that that's like men are playing volleyball games, combat sports. Like that's like an immediately, intuitively, viscerally, emotionally evocative thing that you just grapple with or you can engage with and immediately have a strong feeling about. The culture war stuff is just so powerful and so big and so important, and it overrides everything else. So for an average person who's just not super politically plugged in, because the average person isn't, it's really complicated. There's just a lot of, and it's not fun, right? Unless it's literally your hobby. Why the fuck do you engage with politics unless you're some weirdo? The culture war stuff is just so much more important, and conservatives fight on all those battlegrounds so much. But when conservatives fight on those battlegrounds, they angle it really well into electoral outcomes. It's very big, right? Like, progressives don't say, we need to defend trans people, so vote Democrat. Like, we need to defend minimum wage, we need to defend healthcare. They rally around policies, which Americans don't care about policies. So they'll say, we need single payer, we need rights. And then they'll say, like, the Democrats don't go far enough. So, like, you're not even energized. Like, nobody comes away from a progressive rally being like, yeah, let's go vote for Biden. Let's go vote for Harris. Let's go vote for like, they don't feel that way. There's a lot of support for, like, the more extreme candidates. So people like Bernie Sanders, but then that's it. Once they're gone, it's like, oh, this, you know?
How are we out here arguing about bathrooms and pronouns when people out here dodging bill collectors like Neo in The Matrix? How are we more pressed about a Disney movie casting choice than the fact that most folks still living paycheck to paycheck? Make it make sense. See, what Destiny said about this whole situation is facts. Americans, by and large, do not have the time, patience, or energy to be in the policy trenches trying to understand tax brackets, universal health care, or wage inequality. Instead, they wake up, doom scroll on their phones, get hit with a hot take about whatever the latest outrage is, and boom, they emotionally invested. This ain't new, though. This is by design. Politicians and media execs been running this playbook for decades. Keep people engaged with dumb beefs, keep them emotionally exhausted, and make sure they never focus on the real bag, that generational wealth, that financial security, that actual power. Ain't no coincidence that every election cycle, we get a new existential threat to American values. 1 minute, it's Dr. Seuss getting canceled. Next, it's Mr. Potato Head's gender. Then we fighting about candies being too woke. Like what? Meanwhile, health insurance out here looking like a GoFundMe scam, and the minimum wage been stuck at $7.25 in some places since Bush was in office. And here's the kicker. These culture war topics hit in a way that policy debates just don't. Why? Because they feel personal. The GOP been mastered this game. They understand that folks don't get up out of bed passionate about economic reform, but tell them some high school sports game about to get ruined by some gender debate, and boom, instant viral moment. That's the formula. Take a niche topic that barely affects most people, make it sound like an existential threat, pump it into the media cycle like a SoundCloud rapper pushing his mixtape, and watch the engagement numbers go stupid. Meanwhile, nobody talking about why wages ain't keeping up with inflation. Nobody talking about how pharmaceutical companies got people paying hundreds for insulin while CEOs making billions. Nah, that's too complicated. But some outrage about a rainbow flag? Front page news. Let's keep it real. America is a messy nation. Y'all love drama. You know how some people got that one family member that stay in everybody's business, but can't get their own life together? That's America. This country built different when it comes to prioritizing nonsense over actual progress. Look at how elections get covered. You ever notice how political races get treated like reality TV? Who's up, who's down, who's beefing with who? It's all entertainment. That's why you'll see whole debates online about whether some celebrity betrayed their fans by voting a certain way. But when it comes to things like actual policies that could improve millions of lives, silence. Crickets. Healthcare reform? Sounds complicated. Minimum wage increases? Ugh, let's talk about something more interesting. But some Twitter beef between two politicians? Oh, let me get my popcorn. This is why real change in America moves at the speed of a snail stuck in molasses. People would rather get riled up over a Netflix casting choice than demand better working conditions. And listen, this ain't even a partisan thing. Left, right, everybody guilty of this. Progressives be so caught up in Twitter activism and purity tests that they forget to actually vote. Conservatives out here pretending a Starbucks cup design is gonna end Western civilization. At this point, both sides just different flavors of the same dumb energy. And best believe, there's money behind all this stupidity. News networks, social media companies, and political grifters all eat when Americans stay distracted. You think these billionaires want y'all focused on class struggle and wealth inequality? Nah, they need y'all emotionally invested in nonsense so they can keep robbing y'all blind. Notice how Fox News pump out 24/7 outrage? They not trying to inform you. They trying to keep you engaged. 'Cause engaged people spend more time watching, and more time watching means more ad revenue. Meanwhile, the real puppeteers, the corporations, the lobbyists, the billionaires, they sitting back watching the show like, look at these fools fighting over bathrooms while we counting another billion. Here's the real scam. When it comes to actual economic issues, both parties play y'all. Democrats love to talk about helping the working class, but when they get power, somehow things always get complicated. Oh, we try to pass that, but there's resistance. Bruh, you had the majority. Stop the cap. Republicans, they out here pretending to be for the people, but the minute they get elected, it's straight tax cuts for corporations. They got folks believing that the real enemy is some broke immigrant working 3 jobs just to survive. Like, come on, man. And that's the cycle. Every election, they dangle hope in front of folks, but as soon as the votes get counted, it's back to business as usual. So what happens? People get jaded. They feel like voting don't matter. And that's exactly what the system wants. A disengaged population is an easy population to manipulate. So what's the solution? 'Cause I ain't just trying to rant. I want to see people wake up from the circus. First, stop falling for the bait. If you see some wild headline about culture war nonsense, ask yourself, does this actually affect my life? If the answer is no, stop wasting energy on it. Second, start caring about your own pockets. If your rent high, if your healthcare trash, if your paycheck ain't stretching, why ain't you mad about that? Get invested in the things that actually affect your quality of life. Third, hold politicians accountable. Left or right, if they ain't delivering on real issues, call them out. Don't let these people off the hook just because they said the right buzzwords. Fourth, recognize the manipulation. The culture war is a scam to keep you emotionally distracted. Don't fall for it. At the end of the day, the real war ain't over bathrooms, pronouns, or candies. It's about money and power. And until folks wake up and realize they're getting played, America gon' stay stuck in this clown show. That's the reality. Take it or leave it.